That's right, movie fans. Your eyes do not deceive you. I have finally seen Barbarian. At long last, it's making its way to UK theaters this week. I went in as blind as possible, avoided all trailers and information, so we are going to discuss this spoiler free as to reserve that same experience for UK audiences that may find this video. If you do want to discuss spoilers though, just tag in a quick spoiler warning before you present your topic. So without any further ado, there's a lot to discuss here, so let's get started. While in town for a job interview, a young woman, Tess, arrives at her Airbnb late at night only to find it has been mistakenly double booked and a strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night anyway, but soon discovers there is much more to be afraid of in the house than the other house guest. This movie is bonkers. I was not ready for the directions it was going to take, nor was I able to predict the directions it was going to take. Zach Cregger takes audience expectations and presumptions and weaponizes them in the film's favor. As a storyteller, he fully understands this is not meant to reinvent the wheel, and so he fully dedicates his screenplay to playing to its strengths, successfully subverting every single expectation with the purpose of delivering a grim and devilishly delightful thriller. His direction here is absolutely impeccable. The camera work is fantastic. It just works so different than your expected horror movie. You can see real dedication to the craft. And it's not as if they're presenting entirely new techniques. They're just slightly adjusting familiar ways of doing horror, and that in and of itself showcases an immense difference, and again, real dedication in the way they bring this story to life. This successful subversion goes from everything between the script and the actual casting of the film, from the sensational Georgina Campbell as Tess to the enigmatic Keith, played by Bill Skarsgård, and the absolute douchebag in AJ, played by Justin Long. Everything you expect to see from these kinds of actors in these kinds of roles within this context of a film just gets turned on its head and makes this so much fun to watch. The way the story unfolds as you discover little by little the different levels of the script and of this house just had me on the edge of my seat. Reflecting the never-ending basement tunnels the characters find themselves trapped in, immersed in its darkness, Barbarian keeps you constantly guessing, like an unpredictable maze of possibilities, only adding to the fear and fun of the experience as it reveals unexpected layers through inventive techniques like the use of shadows and light are quite different here than your conventional horror movie. From the way the film starts as Tess makes her way into this house that looms over her, and the way the film constantly keeps revealing these little secrets, and the darkness always feels safer than what is in the light. As they usually say, ignorance is bliss, and that lends itself to the unique story structure that Gregor approaches the film with, as the film is segmented into three distinct parts. And while I don't feel they fully come together in a satisfying manner, I believe the exciting parts still make for one of the better scary movies of the year, with scares built up and executed just slightly outside the expected norm, thanks wholly to Cregger's attention to detail and dedication in the establishment of the world and the characters, as the intensity escalates all through the first act, impressively never meeting a low point from then on. It's only after intricately laying out this groundwork with interesting character dynamics and dipping its toe into this dark basement world that then the story shifts entirely to Justin Long's character. A focus that will rightfully leave many audiences hesitant the more and more we discover about who and what this character is. But Zach Cregger rewards his viewers for giving his bold story directions a chance, as he delivers layered social commentary on top of great scares, adding a new dynamic where motivations and the secrets unveiled are just as frightening as the imagery, where the more he reveals about this backstory, the more we discover about this tunnel-ridden basement. It's a story that wouldn't make sense without adding this Justin Long character into proceedings or the dynamic he brings into the film. From this moment on, and the way it eventually converges with what was established in the first act, this is when the film really kicks into high gear. I was constantly riveted and so excited to see a filmmaker so creatively in focus of his ideas and his story directions, unshackled by anything, making for a quintessential horror experience that I will not soon forget. I don't know how this will play in repeat viewings, particularly with how it comes to a close in the third act that we will talk about in a bit. But as a first experience, this had my full undivided attention. When it comes to the third segment of the film, after so many interesting new layers and twists and turns that were unexpected, so many elements that recontextualize previous notions about the characters and this world, the finale has a riveting sense of togetherness, where everything fascinatingly begins to converge seamlessly. However, there are many small nitpicks here and there that riddle this finale and make it feel somewhat lackluster for me. The tongue-in-cheek tone that worked so well in the movie's favor initially becomes overbearing and even frustrating as it overshadows the added layers of darkness and nuanced commentary. And ultimately, it plays out in a very underwhelming way where the film lacks a proper ending, as if Zach Cregger just didn't know how to bring all its pieces together for that final, memorable, lasting note that leaves you with an impact. Particularly when it comes to its characters. Tess, masterfully played by Georgina Campbell, she is an absolute treasure, and this is still one of the better horror protagonists in recent years. She doesn't really go through a full arc. She is smart, diligent, and altruistic, immensely likable, but she's that from the very beginning of the film. She takes bigger, riskier chances the more the film goes on, but as much as it builds upon her, she never fully hits a crescendo. It's just a film that needed 2 more scenes, 2 more moments bringing it all together to a more satisfying manner, and it just never met everything that the film was building itself up to be. Nevertheless, those are issues, but this is still a fascinatingly entertaining movie that is so creative with its choices. So before I move on to my final thoughts on Barbarian, I need you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. I'm very late to the party, so feel free to just talk spoilers, just with a spoiler warning in advance. If you want to see more reviews from me, there's a playlist right up here. Or if you just love movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button, and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Barbarian's biggest asset is the unabashed creativity in Zach Cregger's storytelling. A claustrophobic thrill ride with an enveloping sense of uneasiness and paranoia where light and darkness are used to their fullest visual and thematic potential, with the result being unhinged insanity. I'm giving Barbarian a B. Thank you so much for watching my long-awaited Barbarian thoughts. I cannot wait to start the conversation with you in the comments. Big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel, and I'll be back very soon with more videos. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.